Hi book friends, I'm Addie and this is Books and Tea Time. We're here today because I have a confession. I have a book buying problem. I bought more books, way more than I had any right to, way more than my wallet can stand, but we're here today and I'm going to share all these books with you and make you a promise, one-on-one, looking you in the eyes, that I'm not gonna buy any more books this month. These books are from like 5 different places, but I went book shopping by myself for a day, visited some used bookstores that I haven't been to around me before. Then my best friend from college came into town and we went to another used bookstore together, and I had ordered some of these from the Lit Bar, which is my favorite bookstore to shop at online. It is a Black-owned bookstore in the Bronx, but I shop them through bookshop.org. So yeah, we've got so many books to talk about today, so let's get started. These first 3 books are from the Lit Bar. First things first, we have 2 books that I cannot wait to read. The first one is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nhi Vo. So in my last video, which I will have a link to up above, I actually reviewed Nhi Vo's 2 novellas. I listened to them via audio, The Empress of Salt and Fortune and When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain, and they were incredible. They were too short though, because I fell in love with Nhi Vo's writing style. And then when I went to like explore her Goodreads like presence, I found out that she just published this. It's her debut novel. It was published on June 1st, I believe, and I cannot wait. This is a queer Great Gatsby retelling. That's all you need to know. Go buy it right now. I mean, I haven't read it and I already have such high hopes, and I really don't want it to let me down, and I really don't think it's going to. But this is a queer Great Gatsby retelling about a young Vietnamese woman in the Jazz Age. The inside of the cover here says, Nhi Vo's debut novel, The Chosen and the Beautiful, reinvents this classic of the American canon as a coming-of-age story full of magic, mystery, and glittering excess, and introduces a major new literary voice. Yes, I'm there for it. I actually don't like The Great Gatsby. I think it's overrated. It's one of the only books my boyfriend has really read ever, but I don't get it. I don't like it. However, I feel like this is going to be what The Great Gatsby should have been. I'm definitely going to do a reading vlog where I read this and talk about it this month for Pride Month as well. And the cover. I mean, are we kidding? Next, a book that I have been anticipating even longer than Nhi Vo's novel is Sorrowland by River Solomon. Be still, my beating heart. I can't wait to read this book. The only reason I haven't finished this yet is because I'm waiting and being good, because I have to read it for Queer Blackathon, which takes place on the 19th and the 20th. It is currently the 17th, so I'm reading it this weekend. Can't wait. This is the group book for Queer Blackathon, which is hosted by Jessie from Bow Ties and Books, and actually it's co-hosted this year also with Starla from Starla Reads. I'll have both of their channels linked down below. Check them out. So last year, around this time, I read The Deep by River Solomon, which was one of my favorite books of last year. It's incredible. It is stunning. I've been wanting to reread it for ages now, and I'm probably going to reread it soon. And then a month ago, I read An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon, which is actually in a different pile over there. It's in my wrap-up pile. Anyway, so this is their 3rd book. River Solomon is a Black, non-binary, autistic author. I love their writing and their nuanced insights about memory and history in particular. At least that was a theme in some way in both of the other 2 books that I've read by them. So I'm really hoping that it pops up in Sorrowland. And I've already heard some really great reviews for this, even though it just came out, like, I think also on June 1st. Milo's barking. I'm really sorry. But anyway, Sorrowland is about a young woman who is pregnant with twins, and she's part of a cult, and she escapes the cult and has the twins in the woods. That's all I really know about it, and that's all I need to know. Honestly, all I need to know is that it's authored by River Solomon, and I'm there. Right after I placed my bookshop order, I saw on Instagram that there is some, I don't even want to call it controversy, but there are some things coming to light about this book, The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I had been not interested in reading this, and then I watched like 5 really great reviews of it in a row, and I was like, okay, I'll finally do it. And then like 2 days later, I saw some people posting on Instagram about the content and the social material, social inspiration behind this book, and I no longer am going to read it for that reason. And I'm just going to tell you very quickly that this was brought to my attention by a couple different people. Starla talked about it in one of her videos. I think Jessie mentioned it on their Instagram, which is what first brought it to my attention. Also, Jessie posted a Instagram post from Varnished Valkyrie. She posted a very informative Instagram. I'll have a link to her page down below so you guys can go and read it, all about the social material behind this book. The premise behind this book is built from Canada's 60s Scoop, which was a series of policies and legislation that enabled the government and child welfare services to take Indigenous children from their communities and put them into foster homes where they were forced to assimilate to white culture and to Western ideals. And also, in addition to that, right around the same time, 215 children's bodies were found at one of these residential schools in Canada. And I just don't want to support this book or this author. It doesn't feel right to me. I don't want to be part of a narrative that exploits Indigenous trauma and doesn't recognize or mention the 20,000 plus children that were taken from their families and put into these foster homes, and that kind of glosses over it and puts it in a whimsical fantasy setting and kind of makes it like all happy-go-lucky, whatever. What I am going to do, since I have it, is I think I am going to tape like a handwritten note to the front of this that details all of that information and kind of tells about what I found out and puts the Indigenous experience and this knowledge at the forefront, and then I'm going to put it in a local library. So I'm kind of flipping the script and making this book do the work that it kind of isn't doing. It is kind of working around and make anyone who picks this book up aware of that history. I figured since I had it, rather than just letting it sit unread on my shelf, I would kind of make it do something good. These next 3 books I got at a small used bookstore near me called Classic Lines. First and foremost, I got The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Disha Filya. This is a collection of short stories, and Noelle Gallagher actually just read this and really loved it, and I've been seeing some other people buzzing about it on Instagram and YouTube as well. So I decided to pick myself up a copy, and I'm just going to read you this little blurb on the back here. It says, Secret Lives of Church Ladies explores the raw and tender places where Black women and girls dare to follow their desires and pursue a momentary reprieve from being good. The 9 stories in this collection feature 4 generations of characters grappling with who they want to be in the world, caught as they are between the church's double standards and their own needs and passion. There's talk about race, parenting, gender, and culture, and I'm just really interested, especially since Noelle really liked it. I tend to like a lot of the things that she likes and recommends, so I think I'm gonna try and read this month as well. Then I also got The Dragons, the Giant, the Women, which is a memoir by Wayetu Moore. This is a memoir that starts when Moore, I think, is 5 years old, and it says, a lush lyrical chronicle of Moore's harrowing escape from war, her years adjusting to life in Texas as a Black woman and an immigrant, and her eventual return to Liberia. The Dragons, the Giant, the Women is a deeply moving story of the search for home in the midst of upheaval. I was really intrigued by the cover, and then after reading the inside, I put it on my Goodreads list, and I saw the cover at the store and I just couldn't resist, so I decided to pick it up. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I do like having memoirs on my shelf for when I'm in the mood for a memoir. As a mood reader, it's nice to have these kind of things around, so I'm really glad that I picked this up. And again, just like, look at the cover. stunning. Love it. And the third and final book that I picked up from Classic Lines is The Baron in the Trees by Italo Calvino. So I read If on a Winter's Night a Traveler by Calvino and tabbed and highlighted the hell out of it. I read it for class and I loved it so much that I decided that I wanted to make a point of reading more Calvino. And I actually have another Calvino book later in this haul, but this one is about a boy who decides that he's gonna live in the trees. I really love how unique and just transportive Calvino's writing is, so I'm really excited, and the covers match. These next 4 books are also from another used bookstore, Amazing Books and Records, and they have a really great policy where if you buy 3 books you get 1 free, so I didn't do as badly here as I could have because I got 4, but one of them was free. So the first book that I got is this really cool copy of American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I haven't read anything, oh no, I lied. I've read Coraline by Neil Gaiman, and that's all. But I've heard really good things about this, and that it's about like Greek gods that are humans, or that like manifest as humans and then talk to this guy who just got out of prison. That's really all that I know, but I love mythology, which is also a theme. This is a really chunky monkey, so I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I keep saying that because I have like a million unread books on my shelves, and yet I bought more. Uncontrollable. I don't know what to do about it. Then I got Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters. That's right. Look at the cover. He's got tentacles. I know what you're thinking. Why? Why would you buy that? So, mostly because it's funny. But this is from the same publisher that published Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which I have not read, but I've seen the movie. And I really like Pride and Prejudice, and I also really like Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. So I figured, you know, this will just be a fun time when I'm in the mood. I mean, it's the original text, but then the author Ben H. Winters writes in things that add sea monsters, and I mean, like, there are pictures. I have to find this one picture to show you guys. It's hilarious. There's just these giant lobsters invading a dinner party. I don't know. It kind of gives me Pirates of the Caribbean vibes because of like the tentacly face and like the 18th century, 17th century looking woman. Anybody else? I don't know. If by chance you've read this, let me know what you thought, but I just couldn't help it. I saw it and it was so funny. I really like Austen. I read Sense and Sensibility in the summer and I really liked it, so why the hell not, you know? I got these 2 Chunky Monkey books, and it is The Princes of Ireland and The Rebels of Ireland by Edward Rutherford. And I don't really know much about these, honestly. Did I buy them because I saw the word Ireland? Yes. Am I gonna like them anyway? Probably. So really all I know about these is that it tells the history of Ireland from before Christians arrived and like Celtic pagan roots, and then as they arrive and the island begins to shift. I grabbed both of them. Don't know when I'm gonna read them, but I have them, so they can make my shelf look better. I don't really like that the spines don't match, but oh well. These next 4 are from a different bookstore called White Whale. I got this adorable little bag from the bookstore, and this is the bookstore that I went to with my friend, and we did some damage, let me tell you. Start by showing you the other Calvino book I got, which looks blank, but it's called Invisible Cities. So you can't really see, but there's like that slight texture of like an outline, and then a little birdie in the title. I love these covers. They're so minimalist and gorgeous. I love them. This is about Kublai Khan and Marco Polo, and and Marco Polo tells stories of a bunch of different cities. Honestly, I bought it because it's by Calvino. I don't really know what it's about. We're gonna find out together. Then I got Witches, Sluts, and Feminists by Kristen J. Solier. I think that's how you say it. And the subtitle is Conjuring the Sex Positive. It is basically a collection of academic essays on tracing the lineage of witch feminism. Honestly, where was this book when I was doing a lot of my undergrad papers? Because it sounds so good. There are pictures. Let me just read you a couple of the chapter titles. And if you're not already sold after I read this, you don't belong here. The Midwife, Bestial Bodies and Reproductive Rights. Hillary Clinton, Wicked Witch of the Left. That's so clever. The Spell of Seduction, Sex Work and the Sacred Whore. Queering the Witch, Porn, Pleasure and Representation. The Coven, Crafting Feminist Community. Hell Sells, Feminism, Capitalism and the Witch. I can't believe I haven't started it already. I'm probably gonna start it today or tomorrow. I'm so excited. And shout out to my friend Marissa for finding this on the shelf and giving it to me, because I probably wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't for her. And I just know I'm gonna love it. So there's this one. Another mythological gem. I got Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. This is Jennifer Saint's debut novel, I believe, and it is another stunning mythological retelling about Ariadne, who is the sister of the Minotaur, princess of Crete. She falls in love with Theseus, helps him kill her brother. Her sister's name is Phaedra. I'm honestly not super familiar with this myth. I mean, I kind of know what's going on, and like her Minotaur brother is like in the labyrinth, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So I'm kind of interested to just go in this with my limited knowledge of it and let Jennifer Saint take me on a trip. But I've been reading some really, really good mythological books. Last but not least, from the White Whale bookstore, I got Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi. I have been dying to read a book by Emezi, and I decided that I think I'm gonna read them in publishing order. This is their debut novel. Akwaeke Emezi is Jesse's absolute favorite author, Jesse of Bow Ties and Books, and I feel like I'm a fake Jesse fan if I don't read Emezi, right? Like, I have to be. And I've also just, heard so many people sing the praises of their writing. They're also the author of The Death of Vivek Oji, Pet, and their memoir just dropped, so it's about time that I've gotten here. And I saw this at the store and I just couldn't resist. I definitely want to get to this month as well for Pride Month. But this is about a young child named Ada. She travels to America for college, and a traumatizing experience crystallizes multiple selves. And there's like, I think a little bit of like magical realism. I don't know too much other than that, but I'm here for it. So let's do it. Last but certainly not least, I literally bought this book like 2 hours ago, and that is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Wow. That's a thick book. I could kill someone with this. And it's not even a hardback. Like, what? I'm actually about to finish The Way of Kings, which is the first book in this series. I have like 100 pages left. I am doing a reading vlog that will be up soon, but I'm really, really liking it. Spoiler alert. So I picked up the second one. These are big books, but I wanted to have it on hand for when I'm ready. And stay tuned for my reading vlog of The Way of Kings, because I think it's gonna be pretty good. We'll see, I don't know. This is an epic fantasy story with multi-POV, magic system, wildness galore, plot twisty stuff. Honestly, if you haven't heard about this series, you probably don't like fantasy, and if you don't like fantasy, you're not gonna care, so I'm not really gonna bore you with the details. That's the end of this book haul. At the end of my last book haul, I promised that I wasn't gonna buy any more books, and that was like 2 months ago, so I'm gonna promise you that I'm gonna try my best not to buy books and to read the books that I already have, because That's what makes sense. That's the logical course of action. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for supporting my channel. It really means so much to me. I hope you're having a good June, a good Pride Month, a good summer, a good time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if that's your jam, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy reading, happy writing, and happy living. Bye!